the collapse of the Republic. For over 1,000 generations, the Galactic Republic had stood as a beacon of democracy and peace. But as the galaxy expanded and its complexities grew, so too did the fractures within its foundations. Corruption seeped into the Senate, and disputes among the star systems became more frequent and violent. The Clone Wars, a devastating conflict between the Republic and the Confederacy of Independent Systems, further destabilized the galaxy, leaving its people desperate for peace and stability. Amidst this chaos rose Chancellor Palpatine, a cunning and charismatic leader who promised to restore order. Under the guise of security and unity, Palpatine gradually amassed more power, manipulating the war to his advantage. The Jedi Order, once guardians of peace, grew increasingly uneasy with Palpatine's growing influence, but their warnings were dismissed by a weary and war-torn populace. The rise of the Empire. In the final days of the Clone Wars, Palpatine revealed his true identity as Darth Sidious, a Dark Lord of the Sith. He orchestrated a coup, issuing Order 66, a command that turned the Republic's clone army against the Jedi. The Jedi were nearly exterminated and their temples burned. In the aftermath, Palpatine declared the Republic's transformation into the First Galactic Empire, with himself as the Emperor. Standing before the Senate, Palpatine proclaimed the end of the Clone Wars and the birth of a new era. His words echoed through the Grand Chamber. In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire for a safe and secure society. The Senate, weary of war and craving peace, erupted in applause, unaware of the tyranny that had just been born. The Age of Darkness. With the Empire established, the galaxy entered an age of oppression. The Emperor's fist was iron, and dissent was crushed without mercy. Systems that resisted were met with overwhelming force, their cities bombarded, and their populations subjugated. The once vibrant Senate became a rubber stamp for the Emperor's decrees, and fear became the tool of governance. The Imperial Navy expanded rapidly, its star destroyers patrolling the space lanes to enforce the Emperor's will. The construction of the Death Star, a moon-sized superweapon capable of destroying entire planets, symbolized the Empire's ultimate power and its readiness to use fear as a means of control. Grand Moff Tarkin, one of the Empire's most ruthless enforcers, famously declared, "Fear will keep the local systems in line." Fear of this battle station. The seeds of rebellion. Despite the Empire's dominance, dissent simmered beneath the surface. Former Republic loyalists, survivors of the Jedi Order, and oppressed civilians began to organize in secret. They formed a loose network of resistance cells that would eventually coalesce into the Rebel Alliance. Among these early rebels was Mon Mothma, a former senator who became one of the leading voices of opposition against the Emperor. The rebellion's first major victory came when they stole the plans to the Death Star, a daring mission that culminated in the destruction of the superweapon at the Battle of Yavin. This victory was a significant blow to the Empire and a beacon of hope for the galaxy, showing that the Emperor's reign was not unassailable. The legacy of the First Galactic Empire. The Empire's reign, though long and brutal, ultimately sowed the seeds of its downfall. The very fear that kept the galaxy in line also fueled the rebellion. The oppression of entire species, the destruction of planets, and the ruthless suppression of freedom stoked the fires of resistance across the galaxy. The death of Emperor Palpatine at the hands of Darth Vader, his own apprentice, during the Battle of Endor, marked the beginning of the Empire's collapse. The subsequent power vacuum led to infighting among the remaining Imperial leaders, further weakening the once mighty regime. In the years that followed, the New Republic rose from the ashes of the Empire, striving to restore the democratic ideals that had been lost. However, the legacy of the Empire lingered. Its military remnants reformed into the First Order, a shadow of the past that sought to reclaim the glory of the Empire. A galaxy forever changed. The rise and fall of the First Galactic Empire reshaped the galaxy, leaving deep scars and lessons etched in the stars. It served as a grim reminder of how power, when left unchecked, could turn even the noblest institutions into instruments of tyranny. The Jedi Order, once complacent, was reborn with a renewed sense of purpose under the guidance of Luke Skywalker. The galaxy, though scarred, emerged stronger, its people united by the shared memory of overcoming one of the darkest chapters in their history. In the end, the story of the First Galactic Empire was one of caution, a tale of how fear and power could corrupt, and how hope and resilience could rise even in the face of overwhelming darkness.